Recently, whilst bathing in the warm glow of the aftermath of the main event of this year's AEW All In, I deigned to do a little personal introspection. And after some careful consideration, I decided, as the unimpeachably utmost authoritative voice on such matters, that Bryan Danielson is, in fact, the greatest pro wrestler of all time. Or the GOAT in the parlance of our times. This fact, of course, is limited to what resides within the scope of all the wrestling that I personally have watched in my life. But no matter, if there were better wrestling than what I have already seen, I would certainly have already seen it, obviously. As such, I'm sure you could only imagine the shock and dismay that I endured when it was revealed to me that a number of my own personal friends, themselves purported wrestling enthusiasts, did not immediately accept this universal truth which I had uncovered. Particularly disquieting, friends of this very show, Dave and Stuss, as you may know them, remained adamant that the actual GOAT is either Bret the Hitman Hart or the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, depending on which of them you ask. Now, I do understand the magnetic nature of nostalgia, as even I am occasionally enchanted by nostalgia's wistful pull, despite my own intellectual understanding of the base and archaic essentiality of it all. This yearning for the past is, alas, within our very nature, it seems. It makes us feel safe and secure, and often convinces us that everything that we experienced during our formative years must unquestionably be superior to anything that today's world could possibly ever produce. This is the only explanation that I could muster as to why these otherwise serious and sober-minded individuals would push back against what is just objective truth. Their consternation on this matter did give me an idea, though. I resolved to actually do the math and ferret out once and for all where the greatest pro wrestlers of our generation actually stand, officially, within the all-time rankings. So, I looked at the generally agreed upon top 50-ish North American professional wrestlers of the last few decades and rated them on every major competency in which pro wrestlers strive to excel. This is a totally cool and normal thing for me to have done. I graded each wrestler on a scale from 1 to 10 in the following areas. 1. In-ring realism. Does it look like an actual fight? 2. In-ring athleticism. Judged, of course, on a curve, depending on what style of wrestler we are dealing with. 3. In-ring precision. Are they crisp, snug, and mistake-free? 4. Ring psychology, which I weighted double, because compelling a crowd to come along for the ride on which he is taking them is the most consequential ability that a pro wrestler can demonstrate. 5. Solo promo skills, be it in the ring or backstage. 6. Promo battle skills, or the ability to think quickly on one's feet when engaged directly in a tete-a-tete with another performer without freezing in the moment or stammering about, known in some circles as sufferin' succotash syndrome. 7. Crowd heat, either way, positive or negative. General look, number 8. Number 9, bumping ability. Number 10, selling ability, because they are two different things. Number 11, character. And finally, 12, longevity, which I do concede is not necessarily fair to those who suffered career-ending injuries, but unfortunately is consistently cited when determining a performer's greatness. And that's life in the big city, I'm afraid. The ultimate result that I achieved, I partitioned into a 4-tier chart, which I will reveal to you momentarily as I go over the results so that you can check the math and discover the truth for yourselves. I am certain that upon witnessing these results, you will all agree completely with my findings. After all, what are we as pro wrestling fans if not unbiased, fair-minded, and always agreeable to one another's perspectives? The results that I ascertained were as follows, starting from the bottom and working our way up. As I have now pulled up my results visually for you to inspect yourselves, I will not belabor the facts. Rather, I will just go over my findings in generality. Starting at tier number 4, the bottom, John Cena and The Undertaker, which should have been obvious to all before I even did this exercise. Tier 3 holds performers the likes of Adam Copeland, Hulk Hogan, Randy Orton, etc. Tier 2, we have the likes of Kevin Owens, who just barely made the 40-year-old cutoff age, Triple H, Roddy Piper, Taz, Dynamite Kid, people like AJ Styles, etc. And then at the top tier, tier 1, the greatest of the greats, we have performers like Kenny Omega, also barely making the 40-year-old cutoff, Stan Hansen, a personal favorite, The Rock, Steve Austin, Sting, Rick Rude, Randy Savage, the aforementioned Bret the Hitman Hart, and Shawn Michaels, and, of course, sitting atop tier 1, unsurprisingly, the greatest of all time, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. So, as you can plainly see, my initial revelation was not only founded, but irrefutably so. I couldn't be more delighted with how this all turned out. I truly enjoyed doing this work for you all. So much so that perhaps I shall do it again. Possibly luchadors next time? Or, women? Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I do so love professional wrestling.